Hey guys and gals, I just got back from a job. I own a handyman business. It's a side hustle, but it's turned into a full-time thing. I just got back from a job where I was fixing a customer's gutter that wasn't installed properly and doing a chimney clean out and just small things. That's my handyman business. I do small jobs that a lot of the big contractors don't have time or interest in doing, and it's a niche that really works well for me. So I just wanted to share something that the customer said today, because when I started the handyman business, I have those skills, and I've been doing that kind of stuff for 2 decades now. When I started it, I felt really inadequate. Call it imposter syndrome, call it just fear of failure, call it whatever you want to call it, but I felt really inadequate. I knew there were other people out there better than me at the things that I was charging people money to do. But over and over and over, I keep hearing the same thing from potential customers and from repeat customers that, Mark, the reason that we call you and the reason that we have you back is because when we call, you answer the phone and you show up. The gentleman today, it was the first time I'd ever done a job for him. Had a wonderful time, just a great old guy, and he talked my ear off the whole time I was doing the job. I had my daughter there working with me, and he said, "I just want to thank you for showing up. It's so hard just to get people to show up." And I'm hearing it enough that I'm guessing it must actually be true. And here's what I'm learning. If I told you how much money I made this summer doing small jobs, you might be surprised. It was a lot. It was a lot. And I kept hearing that, "We're glad you show up. Thank you for showing up." I can't tell you the horror stories of the people I've worked with, and so on and so forth. And so I've come to the realization that if you want to make a difference and you want to stand out in your field, whether it's a side hustle or a full-time gig, just show up. When I was a teenager, my dad said to me, "Mark, if you will go to work, show up on time, do the work that you're asked to do, even if you don't do anything else, you will stand out you'll be better than 9 out of 10 of the employees that you work with." I found out that I was better than 15 out of 10 of the employees that I worked with, because some people were so bad they were in the negative category. You know what I'm talking about? And it's my dad was right. And I have taught my children that. I have 2 adult sons and 2 teenage daughters, and I have taught them to do the same thing. Showing up, keeping your word, doing your best. It won't make up for every deficiency, but you will be a head and shoulders above the pros who won't answer their phone, who don't call back, who don't show up when they say, who make excuses. And this is something everybody can do. I don't know what it is right now that you're thinking about doing and that you're struggling with imposter syndrome or fear of failure. You're really feeling the pressure that I might not be good enough to do the thing that I'm wanting to do. I want to challenge you with this. First, pursue that dream, pursue that goal and that idea. The worst that can happen is failure, but failure's not really that bad, and you probably won't fail. Even if you do, you'll learn things. I mean, it's all in how you look at it. But I want you to pursue it. And I want you to pursue it with this attitude: I am going to show up every day and do the work. I'm not going to make excuses. I'm not going to call in sick. Man, when I used to work as a manager for Walmart in Texas, I worked as a receiving manager. We unloaded trucks. There would be guys who would agree to work for Walmart for a certain dollar amount per hour. I forget what it was at that time. It might have been something like $8 or $9 an hour. And that was actually good for Walmart at that point. And they'd agree to work for $8 or $9 an hour, and then they'd do substandard work. They'd call in all the time. They were lazy. And then they would be like, "Man, if I got paid more, I'd work harder." Like, no, you wouldn't. Maybe for a day, maybe for an hour, but probably not even for a minute. Because showing up when you are supposed to show up and doing the hard work, that's a character thing. That comes from inside. That's you keeping your word. I'm getting paid more than I've ever been paid in my life to do this handyman work. And I'm not the best guy in town. I'm honest with people about my limitations and what I'm able to do. But people keep calling me back because I do one thing that my dad taught me to do. I show up. I do the work that I say I'm going to do. I stand behind my work. But most importantly, I show up. If you want to make a difference in life, whatever field you're in, show up. I know life's not fair. I know there are exceptions. Exceptions don't disprove the rule, they prove it. So I get it. I showed up and I got done wrong. It happens. I'm not arguing that. Yes, there are times that you can do everything right and still get given the shaft. I totally understand that. But that's not the ordinary way things work. Overall, proverbs and wisdom sayings down through the years are that way because on balance, it works that way. And you have a better chance of making good if you just show up in whatever job you're doing. Does that make sense? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comments. If you want to share a time when you showed up and it didn't work well for you, I'd like to hear that too, because I'm sorry that happened. It's also happened to me. But as I look back over the 20 plus years that I've been, almost 30 years now as an adult, working in the secular fields that I've worked in, for every one time that it hasn't worked out, 5 times it has. It's a principle that works. Show up, do the work, stand behind what you do, but most importantly, show up. If you do that, I promise things will be different. You'll see improvement. I would love to hear from you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of this channel. If this is your first time, I'm glad you took a chance to watch all the way through. I hope you'll stick around and check out the other videos I have and be a part of this community. We're spreading hope and light and encouragement, a little bit of wisdom and wit along the way. And I'm glad you're a part of it. Have a great day.